Have you ever been in a relationship where one person wants emotional closeness, visibility, warmth, reassurance, and open connection, but the other person keeps pulling inward? Not because they do not love, not because they are cold, not because they are incapable of intimacy, but because something inside them says, if I open too quickly, I may lose myself. This is the emotional mystery of Chaturthi Purnima Tithi compatibility. And I want you to listen carefully because this pairing is not simple. This is not the easy romantic story where two people meet, understand each other instantly, and flow naturally into emotional and sexual harmony. No. This is the pairing of the protected inner world and the full emotional moon. This is where one person carries depth, guardedness, sensitivity, privacy, irritation, philosophy, inner darkness, and emotional protection. And the other carries fullness, awareness, confidence, emotional presence, visibility, warmth, and the desire to feel complete in love. So if you are a couple in this pairing, or if you are single and repeatedly attracting emotionally unavailable partners, or if you are recently divorced and wondering why your relationship felt so intense yet so lonely, I want you to understand this clearly. Chaturthi Purnima is not a naturally easy intimacy match. It is a karmic emotional classroom. It can heal. It can mature. It can create deep devotion. But only when both people stop blaming each other for having different emotional bodies. Because Chaturthi and Purnima do not love in the same rhythm. Chaturthi loves from the cave. Purnima loves from the full moon. Chaturthi says, come close, but do not invade me. Purnima says, I am here, but do not disappear from me. And that is where the attraction begins. That is also where the suffering begins. Chaturthi is a tithi of emotional protection. It has a deeper, more introverted, philosophical, and vulnerable inner structure. A Chaturthi person may not easily show everything. They may feel a lot, but reveal very little. They may look calm outside, but inside there can be a whole emotional storm, a whole private universe, a whole silent negotiation with fear, trust, disappointment, and longing. This person may love depth. They may love meaningful conversations. They may be drawn to spirituality, psychology, philosophy, hidden truths, shadow work, and the darker corners of human experience. But here's the difficult part. Being deep does not automatically make someone emotionally available. Sometimes depth becomes a wall. Sometimes silence becomes a weapon. Sometimes privacy becomes avoidance. Sometimes I need space becomes I do not know how to let you love me. And this is where Purnima begins to suffer. Because Purnima is fullness. Purnima wants to feel the relationship. Purnima wants emotional presence. Purnima wants a partner who shows up, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, sexually, and spiritually. Purnima does not want to keep guessing. Purnima does not want to keep reading silence. Purnima does not want to live with half answers, incomplete affection, and emotional fog. So when Purnima loves Chaturthi, the first attraction may feel beautiful. Purnima may feel, this person is not ordinary. There is something deep here. There is something private, intense, soulful, different. And Chaturthi may feel, this person brings light into me. This person has warmth. This person has emotional fullness. This person makes me feel seen. But after attraction, reality begins. And reality asks a hard question. Can the full moon love the cave without forcing it open? And can the cave receive the full moon without shutting the door? That is the entire intimacy test of this pairing. Mentally, this pairing can be powerful. Very powerful. Because both are not shallow. Chaturthi can bring depth, analysis, hidden meaning, emotional intelligence, philosophical insight, and the courage to look at uncomfortable truths. Purnima can bring perspective, practicality, awareness, emotional clarity, and a wider view of life. Together, they can talk about life, healing, family karma, emotional wounds, spirituality, psychology, destiny, relationships, and the real meaning of love. This is not a pairing that survives on gossip alone. This is not a pairing that grows through shallow entertainment alone. This pairing needs meaning. It needs a deeper shared language. It needs conversations that go beneath the surface. But here's the intellectual incompatibility. Chaturthi may process things slowly, privately, and defensively. Purnima may process things through awareness, discussion, and emotional clarification. So when there is conflict, Purnima may say, tell me what is happening. Chaturthi may say, I need time. Purnima may say, but your silence is hurting me. Chaturthi may say, your questioning is pressuring me. And suddenly, Both feel misunderstood. One feels abandoned. The other feels invaded. This is why many Chaturthi Purnima relationships do not break because there is no love. They break because the emotional processing styles become exhausting. One person wants illumination. The other needs containment. One person wants emotional certainty. The other needs inner safety. One person wants to talk now. The other wants to retreat first. And unless this is understood, the couple begins to label each other wrongly. Purnima may call Chaturthi emotionally unavailable, moody, avoidant, difficult, secretive, or cold. Chaturthi may call Purnima demanding, intrusive, dramatic, too exposed, too needy, or too bright. But the deeper truth is this: they are not enemies. They are mismatched in emotional speed. They are mismatched in disclosure rhythm. They are mismatched in how they create safety. Now let us talk about emotional intimacy. This is where the real pain lies. Because Purnima can love generously. Purnima can give warmth. Purnima can make space. Purnima can hold the relationship with emotional fullness. But if Chaturthi does not respond, does not reassure, does not express, does not reveal, Purnima begins to feel empty inside the relationship. And that is very painful. Imagine being the full moon and still feeling unseen. Imagine giving light and receiving a closed door. Imagine offering love and getting silence. That is Purnima's wound in this pairing. But now look at Chaturthi. Chaturthi may feel deeply, but love itself can feel risky. Vulnerability can feel dangerous. Emotional exposure can feel like losing control. Too much closeness can create irritation, defensiveness, withdrawal, even harshness. So Chaturthi may think, why does this person always want more? Why is my quietness not respected? Why do I have to explain every feeling? Why can't love be silent sometimes? That is Chaturthi's wound. Purnima feels unloved when Chaturthi withdraws. Chaturthi feels unsafe when Purnima asks too much too quickly. And this becomes the hidden imbalance. Not obvious hatred, not clear rejection, but a subtle one-sided emotional load. Purnima may carry the visible warmth. Chaturthi may carry the invisible pressure. Purnima may feel, I am giving more. Chaturthi may feel, I am enduring more. Purnima may say, I need closeness. Chaturthi may say, I need breathing space. Both are valid, but both can hurt each other. That is why this pairing needs maturity. Not romance alone, not attraction alone, not sexual chemistry alone, maturity. Because without maturity, Chaturthi becomes a locked emotional room. And Purnima becomes a spotlight trying to enter that room. Now let us talk about sexual compatibility, because this is where many people misunderstand this pairing. Sexually, Chaturthi Purnima can be deeply magnetic. Why? Because Chaturthi carries hidden intensity. It may not always show desire openly, but once trust is created, it can become deeply private, emotionally absorbing, and even spiritual in intimacy. Purnima brings fullness, warmth, sensual presence, and emotional availability. So the sexual bond can feel powerful when there is trust. But without emotional safety, this pairing becomes sexually inconsistent. Purnima may want affection, touch, reassurance, eye contact, warmth, spoken love, and a feeling of being fully received. Chaturthi may want privacy, timing, silence, trust, emotional darkness, slowness, and freedom from performance. This creates a sexual mismatch. Purnima may think, why are you not fully present with me? Chaturthi may think, why are you making intimacy feel like an emotional test? Purnima may want love to be expressed through the body. Chaturthi may need the body to feel safe before love can fully express. And this is where sexual incompatibility begins. Not because there is no attraction, but because the body does not open under pressure. The body does not surrender when the heart feels watched. The body does not relax when the nervous system feels invaded. For Chaturthi, intimacy cannot be rushed. For Purnima, intimacy cannot remain vague. So what is the solution? The solution is not to make Chaturthi more like Purnima. The solution is not to make Purnima dim its emotional light. The solution is rhythm. A mature Chaturthi must learn to say, I am overwhelmed, but I am not leaving you. I need silence, but I still love you. I need time, but I will come back to this conversation. I am not rejecting you. I am processing. That one shift can save the relationship, because Purnima does not always need instant answers. Purnima needs reassurance that the emotional bond is still alive. And a mature Purnima must learn to say, I want closeness, but I will not force you. I want emotional honesty, but I will give you space. I want to be seen, but I will not invade your private world. I can hold your silence as long as it does not become punishment. That one shift can heal Chaturthi, because Chaturthi does not always need distance. Chaturthi needs safety. Now listen carefully if you are single. If you are a Purnima type and you keep attracting Chaturthi-like people, ask yourself, are you mistaking emotional mystery for emotional depth? Are you falling in love with someone's hidden world before they have proven they can share it with you? Are you giving warmth to someone who only knows how to receive silently but not reciprocate openly? Because your fullness is precious. Do not pour the full moon into a person who refuses to look up. And if you are Chaturthi-like, ask yourself, are you calling it privacy when it is actually fear? Are you calling it depth when it's actually avoidance? Are you expecting someone to love you through silence without giving them emotional proof? Because your depth is precious. But depth must become relationship. Otherwise, it becomes isolation. Now, if you are recently divorced or healing from a breakup, this pairing may explain something painful. Maybe the relationship did not fail because there was no love. Maybe it failed because one person needed emotional fullness and the other needed emotional protection. Maybe one kept asking, why won't you open? And the other kept asking, why won't you let me breathe? Maybe the love was there, but the maturity was not. And I want you to understand this without guilt. Some relationships are not destroyed by betrayal. They are slowly exhausted by incompatible emotional rhythms. They die in the space between I need you closer and I need you to stop pressing me. That is the tragedy of Chaturthi Purnima when it is unconscious. But when it is conscious, the story changes. Purnima can teach Chaturthi that love does not always invade. Chaturthi can teach Purnima that silence is not always absence. Purnima can help Chaturthi feel warmer, safer, more visible, less trapped in the inner cave. Chaturthi can help Purnima become deeper, quieter, more spiritually honest, and less dependent on constant emotional display. This is how the pairing works. Not through speed, not through drama, not through forcing, through reverence, through timing, through emotional literacy, through a lifestyle that respects both privacy and togetherness. This couple must design life carefully. They need a home that feels peaceful. They need private time. They need meaningful rituals. They need spiritual practice, meditation, silence, healing conversations, intimacy without pressure, and emotional repair after conflict. They should not live in constant social noise. They should not expose every personal issue to friends and family. They should not turn the relationship into public performance. Chaturthi needs a sacred inner room. Purnima needs a warm relational space. So the lifestyle must include both. A quiet home, deep conversations, soft affection, gentle routines, respect for solitude, clear reassurance, protected intimacy, and no emotional ambushes. This pairing does not survive well when life is chaotic, noisy, socially invasive, or emotionally careless. It works better when both people value meaning over performance. It works better when they choose quality over quantity. It works better when sex is not treated as duty, conquest, or validation. It works when sex becomes a sanctuary, a place where Purnima feels received, a place where Chaturthi feels safe, a place where neither is forced, a place where love becomes slower, deeper, and more honest. Now let us be direct. What breaks this pairing? Chaturthi breaks it by disappearing emotionally, by becoming harsh, by refusing to explain, by making the partner beg for warmth, by hiding behind philosophy, by saying, this is just how I am, while the other person slowly starves emotionally. Purnima breaks it by pushing too hard, by demanding constant openness, by turning every silence into a crisis. By assuming emotional fullness gives them the right to expose, question, judge, or illuminate everything before Chaturthi is ready. Both shadows are dangerous. The locked room is dangerous. The blinding spotlight is dangerous. Love needs a lamp, not a floodlight. Love needs a door, not a wall. So if you are in this pairing, do not ask, are we compatible? Ask a better question. Are we mature enough to understand our emotional design? Because Chaturthi Purnima is not automatically blessed with ease. It is built through consciousness. It requires the Chaturthi person to become emotionally braver. It requires the Purnima person to become emotionally softer. Chaturthi must stop using silence as protection against love. Purnima must stop using closeness as proof of love. Chaturthi must learn that vulnerability is not defeat. Purnima must learn that patience is not rejection. And when both learn this, something beautiful can happen. The Chaturthi person begins to open, not because they are forced, but because they feel safe. The Purnima person begins to relax, not because they receive constant emotional performance, but because they receive real presence. And that is the mature expression of this pairing. The empty vessel and the full moon, the hidden cave and the visible sky, the private wound and the healing light. This is not the easiest intimacy pairing, but it can become one of deep transformation if both people are ready to grow. So if you're a Chaturthi, your work is this. Do not punish love with silence. Do not make your partner prove loyalty by surviving your withdrawal. Do not hide your tenderness so deeply that the other person gives up before finding it. Your depth is powerful, but it must become available. And if you are Purnima, your work is this. Do not force openness. Do not mistake emotional brightness for emotional wisdom. Do not demand the whole inner world of someone who opens only through trust. Your fullness is beautiful, but it must become gentle. That is how this pairing survives. That is how it becomes intimate. That is how mental, emotional, and sexual incompatibility becomes conscious compatibility. Because real compatibility is not only about easy attraction. Real compatibility is about knowing where the wound is, where the need is, where the fear is, and where love must become mature. Chaturthi Purnima teaches one of the hardest lessons in intimacy. You cannot heal someone by invading them, and you cannot keep someone by hiding from them. The full moon must soften its light. The cave must open its door. Only then can this relationship become more than attraction. Only then can it become devotion. Only then can it become a safe emotional body for both. So if this pairing speaks to your relationship, your marriage, your breakup, your longing, or the pattern you keep repeating, do not ignore it. Your birth tithi can reveal the emotional rhythm you bring into love. It can show why you attract certain partners. It can show why intimacy feels easy with some people and painful with others. It can show why the mind connects, but the heart hesitates. It can show why the body wants closeness, but the nervous system resists. And when you understand that, you stop blaming yourself blindly. You stop calling every breakup failure. You stop calling every difficult partner destiny. You begin to read the emotional design. You begin to choose with awareness. You begin to love with maturity. For a deeper intimacy reading or Tithi compatibility reading, connect with me. Because sometimes the answer is not, do they love me? Sometimes the real answer is, can our emotional bodies actually hold each other? And for Chaturthi Purnima, that answer depends on maturity, patience, safety, timing, and the courage to love without forcing, and to open without disappearing.